It's day one of my winter holiday in Brisbane. I've left the cold, wet climate of Melbourne to have 1 week in what is a sunny, tropical climate in the month of June. I lived and worked in Brisbane in my 40s and 50s, raised a family, had a lot of memories. So as part of this trip, I want to do a walk around the many areas that I used to enjoy, show you the sights of Brisbane and the Gold Coast. Now, more importantly, I want to show you how I turn these series of videos into a larger story that will find its way into my own personal memoirs. It's about showing that a short trip north can turn into a far larger story. Day one in Brisbane, I choose a familiar path, the greenery of Brisbane Botanic Gardens. 200 years earlier, this wasn't a garden, it was a farm planted by convicts to feed a prison colony. Necessity before beauty. I came to Brisbane with the same urgency, ambition, spreadsheets, and little else. Years later, like these gardens, I'd grown into something gentler. Jacarandas replaced corn, stories replaced numbers. I raised a family, built a life, and discovered writing. Day two draws me down a new path. Kangaroo Point Bridge arcs gently across the river, connecting old ground to new movement. I met my son here and we walked to the Brisbane Jazz Club, perfectly placed beside the river's curve. Inside, soft light, wine glasses and saxophone solos blended with the glittering skyline. In the 1990s, I worked just across from the river, a quick ferry ride to this musical place, but I was always too busy to explore it. Now I have time, exchanging enterprise for expression, turning from analyst to author. Day three, I strolled the river walk at South Bank, where the water shimmered with old echoes. Family holidays, picnics, beach walks. Some 4 decades earlier, I joined the crowds here, excitedly queuing for a glimpse of a bigger world. World Expo 88. That fair rewrote Brisbane's story and mine. So much followed, from city cats to new riverside precincts, announcing Brisbane's subtropical lifestyle. Today, South Bank remains Brisbane's river stage, lush, light-filled and layered with lives, including mine. Day 4, I explore the Queensland Cultural Centre. It rose during a curious time, an era of conservatism giving way to creative vision. I arrived in those years, and like the city, I was learning to transform. The 1980s saw the cultural precinct expand with arts gallery, museum and performing arts centres. It became my quiet space, writing business reports. Now I return to write stories. In this sanctuary of sandblasted concrete, I shifted from commerce to culture. Brisbane changed from my workplace to my muse. Day 5, I dine by the river at Howard Smith Wharves, a dining and entertainment precinct. 7 decades earlier, this stretch of riverbank was filled with warehouses and cranes. Now it's a loop of leisure. The original wharf buildings remain, repurposed in 2018 into a gathering place for stories and sunsets. I often walked the riverbank in the 1990s, rarely stopping to view the derelict old warehouses. Revitalised, the river now flows past returning crowds, like old friends to celebrate Brisbane River's preeminence. It's day 6. The Queen Street Mall hums with memory and motion. Trees now soften the skyline, diners relax under umbrellas, and high street fashion blends with street performers. I had breakfast at Stanton with a mall-wide view, remembering when this place was less polished, but no less alive. From here I can feel the city breathing, steady, rhythmic, and growing into itself. In a city of constant reinvention, the mall remains its steady heartbeat, familiar, evolving, and keeping step with time. My final day. I choose the expansive white sands of the Gold Coast to draft my experiences. My teenage fantasy once, surf, neon, white shoe promises and beach dreams. Years later it shifted to family beach picnics and theme park rides. Now, walking barefoot along its golden sands, I realise the Gold Coast, the glitzy younger sibling of Brisbane, played its part in transforming Queensland into a modern, outward-looking state, proud to express its unique culture. I too try to tell my part in that story, some still untold, rolling in with every wave.